We ended the last episode winning the league and cup in France.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
But a consortium planned to buy the club and gave us a transfer embargo. Welcome back to Youth to Gold. Our season number 7 was a record-breaking one, and we have two of the most sought-after strikers in world football.
We cannot replace him.
Even before this takeover, our finances are fantastic, and we have even cleared all the debts.
I can't believe it!
But just days after, the takeover is completed. And immediately, they're disappointed with me that we don't have the best youth facilities.
Here we go.
But they do take it upon themselves to upgrade it. Alfonso Places wins the Best Player in Europe award. But it's his strike partner Casu who is receiving all of the interest, with 6 bids going up to £188 million from Bayern Munich. But I rejected all of them.
Guys, relax. Relax!
Our old player Brazil moved to Porto for double what we sold him for and had a good year in Greece. And we also loaned out Richard Vincent for some first team football. I haven't forgotten about his clutch moments from last season. But I'm hoping with the amount we scored last season we should be absolutely fine. And we have signed some new players since the embargo was lifted, although none would be challenging for the first team right now. I'm just hoping Figueroa or Scoufales can really step up. And Figueroa gets a nod up top for the Trophy de Champions against PSG. A tie in which we started terribly and conceded 2 goals in the opening 10 minutes when first Musiala smashed one in and then David Zimmer turned it in from a corner. But it didn't take long from a throw in from Mateo Casu to pop up and hammer in one. And in the second half, the ball brought to Illich, whose direct run and shot rebounded back for Casu to equalise. And the match went to penalties where Kraus saved the deciding spot kick by Kimpembe. But Scoufales didn't take his substitute start very well and went out clubbing the night before the derby, which was our first game of the season. Not only did he go AWOL, but he wants to leave to a bigger club. Don't you know this is Toulouse, mate? You are lucky to be here. Shout out to Flute, by the way, for this sick artwork. I'll put the breakdown video on how he made it in the description down below. Anyway, Scoufales and his shenanigans might cost us against our rivals, although Juan Jose's opener and Alfonso's goal did put us 2-0 up. We were not ourselves, and Bordeaux got back into the game at 2-1. Juan Jose was doing everything he could from the back, but Bordeaux were determined to stop being embarrassed by us, and not only did they get a second but a third as well, tying the game 3 apiece on the opening day of the season. Our Champions League fixtures are in and we face both North London sides with some tricky games against Real Madrid, Dortmund and Napoli amongst others. The league fixtures continue to become a little bit rocky at the start though, with a tight win against Reims and a 2-2 draw against Lens, being 2-0 down. Not to mention Lucas Mendoza got injured and will miss a big part of the next 2 months. He has really been an unsung hero in the DM role since coming in and been really solid for us. But before the transfer window did close, I did bring in some more players, starting off with Lorenzo Capaccio, who will challenge that right hand side against Illich. He doesn't have the pace and quickness, but he does have some fantastic technicals, and that flair and composure is really good. From Inter Milan, £19.25 million. We also have Kepa. I brought him in just in case we did sell Scoufales, which we did fail to do. Unfortunately, nobody came in for him. He has great bravery, really good finishing and dribbling ability, and those physicals are great as well. Fantastic potential, and £17.75 million. And Victor is more of a future right back prospect that I picked up, I believe, when he was 17, and he's only just joined us now that he's turned 18. Back to winning ways in the league though, with a much better performance against Marseille, and Alfonso Places scoring 3 of the 6 goals for us, including a 91st minute penalty after Casu very early scored on in the match. The Champions League and a trip to Tottenham started brilliantly when Alfonso Places scored in the 2nd minute, but this game was flipped on its head by half-time when Japhet Tanganga scored the equaliser and Ryan Sessegnon scored the winner in a 2-1 loss.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
Oh, and it gets worse. We lost to Rennes.
No, God!
This disappointing month ended with a trip to Paris. In what was a fairly entertaining game for the neutral, PSG took the lead through Mbappe. But Juan Jose rose highest again to level the scores before Timothy Camus put the Parisians back ahead. It wasn't until a late Alfonso Places goal that we left the capital with a point apiece. And we followed that by drawing 0-0 to Arsenal. I've also decided that club captain Anthony Rault is probably going to go soon. He's 28, I'm fading him out of the team a little bit more and more, and January could could be the time for him to go. October seen a bad loss away to Monaco, shipping 5 goals. It also saw some great wins too, this one versus Angers, including 3 goals, the first scored by Sakai and the second came from his free kick which the goalkeeper parried. The third was another example of Kraus's kick, and all you Kraus haters in the comments a while back, you should be apologising to the man. He's always putting in a good average rating and it's nice to see the assists he racks up. We also got our first win in the Champions League this season against Sociedad, and Scoufales scored 2 goals in a minute as he robbed the defender for the second from the kickoff of his first goal in a 4-1 away win. Cassou then bagged 4 against Lorient and Montpellier in no match as we moved into November in 4th place in the league. But it's not who you think it will be at the top.
My eyes are bleached.
After a win against Salzburg in the Champions League, we welcomed Real Madrid to the stadium and they were not very nice to us at all, and they completely battered us from the start, scoring 3 first half goals and another that was disallowed before we finally got ourselves into the game through Sakai. Unfortunately, Dusan Vlahovic scored his hat-trick from the spot and Figueroa's goal was simply a consolation goal in a 4-2 loss. In the league, Sakai was scoring more goals against Auxerre, but I felt for Ispazu, who after smashing in a great goal, then pulled up with a muscle injury just 10 minutes later on in his first start in the league. After back-to-back League 2-1 wins against Metz and Lyon, 2 difficult games followed in December. Unfortunately, we suffered back-to-back losses. A game against Saint Etienne is just what we needed. We won the game only 2-0, and I say only because we had 33 shots and 16 were on target, and there's no surprise that their keeper won man of the match with an 8.3 average rating.
Cheers, Jeff.
It's January and we make it 6 in a row for the European Golden Boy winners, with Figueroa winning it this year. And speaking of 6 in a row, Mbappe looks to make it 7 Ballon d'Ors if he can win this one. But not this year. Alfonso Places is your Ballon d'Or winner in 2029.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
And this led to a lot of money being offered for his services all month, as well as Cassou. But they're only 21 and 22 with still long-term contracts, and I don't have any replacements that will slot right in, so I don't really feel the need to sell, and I don't need to sell them yet. Dean DeLange is a player in the second team that I've been keeping my eye on that's been putting in fantastic performances and may be next to break into the first team. We are 7 points behind league leaders Monaco right now, who have been in excellent form, and we're in trouble of being eliminated from the Champions League early, down in 22nd with just 2 games left. Back from the winter break though and straight into a derby, and this time, and in fact this month, was all about revenge as we destroyed them on their turf 3-0 with goals from Sakai, Captain Cassou and Alfonso Places. And yes, I said Captain Cassou because I sold Anthony Rout controversially to Monaco. As I said, he is coming to the age to sell and youth to gold, and we made £27 million to reinvest in players, which we did. His replacement is Alfred, who will act as our third choice centre-back for the remainder of the season, 18 years of age, and looks fantastic and only cost us £21 million from Barcelona. And another Spaniard in Fernando Rodriguez, who we picked up from Atletico Madrid for just £19 million. Time to celebrate though as we demolish Rennes 5-1. We need wins in the Champions League to survive, and that is exactly what we did against Bodo Glimt. Another Alfonso masterclass as well, as he went above and beyond, scoring 4 goals in the game. Our 2 remaining games this month include PSG in the league and Napoli to secure qualification for the Champions League, so get ready for some fun. Because we secured that qualification to the knockout playoffs against Napoli with a 3-0 win, and Alfonso Places was let loose once again against PSG, scoring 2 goals before half-time. But his third was probably my favourite goal he scored. Such a beautiful finish, and then there was another one too to add to the tally. And that is because we completely decimated the biggest club in the country 7-1.
Sorry, what?
We got our Champions League draw, and it's Salzburg who awaits us. February was a weird month because in the cup we put ourselves into the semi-finals with an 8-0 win to Avranches and another victory over Rennes, but a 5-0 loss between 2 wins was a bit out of the blue with the form we were on. What a competitive game we had in the first leg of the Champions League playoff in Austria though. Salzburg took the lead against us and we pulled one back from the 25th minute mark. The next goal came from our Greek rebel Scoufales, Scuffales right on the stroke of half-time, and you'd think we would run away with it at that point. But Okafor scored his second goal in the second half to once again level the tie, so Scuffales answered that with his second goal as well on the 68th minute mark to make it 3-2. But Okafor fancied taking the match ball home with him, and he also made the game 3-3 on the 88th minute, and then you think that would be the last of it, but no, Scuffales also fancied the hat-trick himself a minute later, and with that we made it 4-3 to Toulouse. What a game. They even scored early in the second leg as well, but we still managed to overcome them, and they missed a penalty. Two fantastic goals in the Coupe de France semi-final from both Schuschnart and Scuffales means for the third season in a row we have reached the final. We played the league leaders Monaco, and it was a day for Kepa Ispazua, whose left foot found 3 goals for the first time in a Toulouse shirt, and our defence were strong, and Kraus made 7 important saves to send Monaco off the top of the league. And with 3 more wins this month and only conceding 1 goal in the process, it's no surprise that it is us filling that top spot as we head towards the end of the season, and Alphonso places who is 10 goals ahead of Mbappe in the Golden Boot. In the Champions League, it was Man City who visited us in the round of 16, and before we knew it, we were 2-0 down from a Kimmich free kick and a Haaland strike. But I don't know how we did it. We fall behind and we somehow claw our way back into the match, and after being 2-0 down and 3-1 down, we find ourselves 4-3 up until Murat Kaya equalised in the 84th minute. But in the second leg, we went to the Etihad and we smashed and grabbed. We faced 26 shots, 10 of them on target, and yet we came away 2-1 winners and sent ourselves through to the quarterfinals after winning 6-5 on aggregate. And of course, it's PSG who we face in the quarters.
Ooh, how convenient.
More league wins and 1 draw, including this fantastic win against Lille, including an unbelievable 30-yarder from Nico Rack, and even Serbian midfielder Schuschnart filling in up front managed to get on the score sheet in a 3-0 victory. Quarterfinals of the Champions League then, and the 2 best teams in France, but the best player in the world opens the scoring. However, a defense splitting pass from Chukwueze finds Rodrigo, and just like that, it's all level. Alphonso Places was there though in the second half, advantage to lose. But whatever he can do, Rodrigo can also do, and it's a Desmond Tutu. Until an 84th minute Kylian Mbappe winner in this first leg.
I'm a fighter and not a quitter.
What a second leg though. We took the lead and levelled the tie through the man again. PSG came back though through an Illich own goal and peeked ahead. From kickoff, we attacked and Scuffales put the ball away. And that man, Alphonso Places, in injury time of the first half, then gave us the advantage. 3-1 on the night. But what drama though, and still before half-time, Rodrigo scored in the 48th minute. And once again we are level. Unfortunately, it was not our day though, as PSG got a very late equaliser on the night through Sudakov and ended our Champions League journey this season. They haven't had the best of time in the league though, and with 3 games left, we are in the driving seat with Monaco 3 points behind and a cup final against Nice. And we put 4 past Montpellier in the following game, with Monaco also winning our attention goes to the cup final against Nice, when we were the most clinical we've ever been this season, and we really started from Schuschnart, who started the game up front again because of fitness problems and was involved in everything, winning man of the match. Not only did he open the scoring, but he also got an assist too and played a big part in quite a few of the 6 goals we scored, lifting the trophy in incredible fashion for the 3P. Schuschnart kept his position up front in the next game, but this game was all about Alphonso Places, who scored a lovely hat-trick against Saint Etienne in a 3-1 away win from home. But the most important goal happened in Montpellier, as the 94th minute equaliser can only mean one thing: we are once again crowned champions. 2 in a row for the league, with Alphonso Places picking up the Golden Boot. And an incredible goal tally this year as well. Lots of interest around both Cassou and Places, with £46 million in the transfer budget. And for now, the new board are buzzing to have me on board.